Welcome to a very damp and a very cold Rutland water for the second of our Osprey Project video diaries this summer. Now the chicks are already a week old and they're hatching last weekend, followed 5.5 weeks of incubation from the Ospreys and also round the clock monitoring of the nest by our very dedicated volunteer team. And earlier in the incubation period, Michelle went down to the hide to catch up with the night watchman at the start of one of their shifts.
Now during the incubation period, the Mountain Bay nest, which is just behind me, is monitored 24 hours a day by our team of dedicated volunteers. And we all know that ospreys are incredible birds, but what is it about them that makes people willing to lose a night's sleep? Let's go and ask Mick Ward, the night watchman, to find out.
Hi Michelle.
Hello Mick, how are you?
Very well, and how are you?
Yes, I'm very good, thank you.
That's good.
Now you've been a night watchman for nearly 4 years.
That's right.
Can you tell me what it is about monitoring that makes you want to do a night shift?
Well, it's about the osprey story really. We get the whole summer and part of that summer is monitoring the birds through the incubation period. And that means doing 24-hour monitoring, and of course we do nights. And that basically is right away.
So can you just run through what happens on a normal night shift?
Well, there are two of us on the night shift. There's a night watchman who's generally responsible, and then there's a volunteer. We actually come 7:30, get here for 8 o'clock, and we spend the first hour monitoring the birds together. And then we do 2 hours on, 2 hours off. The person that's actually monitoring first, he's watching the osprey and their behaviour, and the other guy is sleeping in the shed, the bedroom.
Brilliant. So do you think you'll be able to show me the sleeping quarters?
Certainly.
Thank you.
Lead the way. Well, welcome to our bedroom, Michelle.
Wow, it looks cozy.
Inside. Well, it's quite warm actually. You get in here and you jump in your sleeping bag and you're warm within 5 minutes. But basically it's a put-me-up bed. We've got 2 sleeping bags there which we generally use for underbody heat or insulation. And there's enough pillows. And then we've got a lantern to help us get ready to get inside the sleeping bag. But generally we wear a head torch, something very similar to this. And it means that you can take your shoes off with both hands and you're not messing about dropping things and picking things up.
Brilliant. All you need for 2 hours sleep.
2 hours sleep, alarm on if you've got your mobile phone with you, and then get dressed and out to take over from the volunteer or the night watchman.
Brilliant.
Perhaps you'd like to look at the birds there, would you?
Yes, please.
So we're going to have a look at an osprey.
Brilliant. Let's go back into the hide.
Hi Michelle. This is a telescope that's on the nest. You should be able to see the female incubating.
Yeah, that's great. So it's good that when you start your night shift it's light enough to use the scopes, but what do you do when it gets dark?
Well, we have a piece of technical equipment here which enables us to see in darkness. It's called a night scope. You won't be able to see much through it at the moment because it's not night, but we're not dark. But it's a useful tool, and we're able to look around the nest and ensure that there's no intruders about, and monitor what's going on basically.
Brilliant. All you need.
For a nice night.
Now Mick's partner for tonight's night shift is Mike Drew, who also happens to work for Angling Water. So Mike, hello.
Hi.
What is Angling Water's involvement in the Osprey Project?
Well, the project we've been working with Leicester and Rutland Wildlife Trust with the Osprey Project for almost 20 years now. I think it's about 18 years that we've been involved in this project, and it's a fantastic place that we've got here. Rutland Water, got a massive expanse of water, and when the osprey was kind of extinct from England, it was found that ospreys were actually using Rutland to be coming here and fishing and started to hang around. So the idea was that we'd start to have a look at trying to reintroduce the osprey back into England.
Brilliant. So it's obviously a very successful partnership.
It is. I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, it's been running such a long time, and it's great to to actually be working with the Wildlife Trust here and also the volunteers that actually support the project. It's absolutely fantastic.
Brilliant. So on a more personal level, what do you expect from tonight's night shift?
Well, I'm hoping that it's not going to get too cold, because it's actually quite cold at the moment.
It's a bit chilly already, isn't it?
It is. But I'm hoping that we're going to have a really nice night. There's going to be no one trying to raid the nests or trying to get the eggs or anything like that. But also I'm quite excited looking through the night scope to see what kind of wildlife was actually used in the reservoir at night, because sometimes you get muntjac deer or other kind of wildlife that you generally wouldn't normally see during the day using the reservoir. So that's what I'm really looking forward to tonight.
Great, well I hope you have a lovely evening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, it's nearly 9 o'clock, so I think we're going to leave these guys to it. I'm sure one of them is ready for bed already, and I'm going to go and get a cup of tea. So I hope you have a lovely evening, and good luck. Don't get too cold.
Yeah, good night, Michelle.
Good night.
Osprey cruises are one of the best and most exciting ways of seeing ospreys at Rutland Water. Tonight's the first cruise of the season, so let's get on board and hope we're lucky. An hour and a half, so we've got plenty of time. We could, if we wanted, get the whole way around the reservoir. Of course, it's a huge, great reservoir. It's 3,000 acres of water. But, you know, we'll kind of, what the birds do dictates where we go. So I think initially we'll probably head down towards the south arm and where 5R's nest is, in the hope that he'll think, well, 5:15, May the 19th, isn't that when I'm supposed to go fishing? And hopefully he'll head our way. And if we don't see anything there, then we'll come back round the peninsula and then up to the north arm. In terms of actually looking for the ospreys, they can be anywhere from a few feet above the water to really high up. Their eyesight's so good, it's thought to be 16 times better than ours, that, you know, they can see fish from a really great height. And I mean, how on earth they manage to see fish through the surface on a day like today, I don't know, but they can. So I'd expect them to just be slowly circling above the water. And then but you certainly struggle to get better views of an osprey than that. It's really good as he flew past. Hit the water, he's a long way away, but he's struggling on the water, so I bet he's caught this time. Yeah, he's just taken off. There's a blue thing in the field in the distance, and he's just flown right at that. No, he's flying left to right now, being mobbed by a gull. It wouldn't surprise me if he's caught, but he's just too distant to tell. As you can see, it's a lovely summer's evening on Rutland Water, but we have had really good views of an osprey fishing near the boat. Richard and Sir have travelled down from Huddersfield for the trip, so what do you reckon?
Oh, it's been absolutely marvellous. When that sun hit that osprey's head, it was gorgeous. I've never seen anything like it. And I even saw them bandit masks, as you said we would.
There we go. So you reckon it's worth coming on an osprey cruise?
Oh well, you can go to Barnsley and see ducks fly backwards, but if you come to Rutland, you like to see ospreys swimming forwards.
What more could you want? Thank you very much. Now Jack, isn't it? Jack's seen his first ever osprey tonight on the boat, so what do you reckon, Jack? Marks out of 10 for an osprey.
Around 8.
Around 8? Oh, that's not bad. So, one of the best things you've seen? Not bad.
Yeah, I'd say that was quite good.
That was quite good, good. And what did the osprey do?
I saw it circling. I saw it was circling around the boat, and then it would go down. Everyone would get excited. Then it would just pull up. Come down again. and then it would come up, and it kept going up, down, up, down, up, down.
But not catching the fish, well, not for us to see. I think you caught a fish a long way away, but
Yeah.
it was good views though, wasn't it? Yeah. So you've enjoyed yourself?
Yeah.
Excellent, that's the main thing. But there you go. If you come on an Osprey cruise, you see Ospreys going up and down, up and down, up and down. Well done, Jack.
Hello, welcome to London Visitor Centre on Jubilee weekend, and typically it's raining as a bank holiday weekend. As you can see on the nest, the live feed here from Manton Bay nest, the female is covering up the chicks and protecting them from the rain. The first chick hatched on the 25th of May, and this was the day that it had hatched, so the second chick hasn't hatched yet. And you can see he's not quite got the gist of turning around to be fed from mum yet. 2 days later the second chick hatched, and you can see there's quite a bit of difference in the size of them in the nest. They're being fed a pike at the moment by the female, so during the breeding season the male bird will go off and fetch the fish, and the female bird will then tear off little bits and feed them to the chicks. So 1 week on, and you can see the difference in the size of the chicks is amazing. It's still a bit bigger, the first one that hatched, but the smaller one's making sure he gets, we don't know if it's a he or she yet, it gets its fair share of fish. Some of the fish that 5R brings back to the nest are still alive. We've not seen one as wriggly as this little pike that was brought in yesterday. He makes one last little bid, an Olympic lap of the nest before 5R finally comes and rescues it. But you can see it jumping around, it goes a bit mad. There he goes, nearly out, and then he comes back and nearly knocks the chicks out. Pike tend to be the jumpiest of the fish. Some of the other fish they bring back are trout and roach and perch and bream, but it's always the pike that seem to be the jumpy ones. There we go, and then 5R saves the day. We'll have a look at how the chicks are getting on in the next video diary, but in the meantime you can check their progress on the webcam.